These first two intro exit ticket discussion boards really go together because the first one was about emotional response to reading research, and the second one is about your prior experience with reading research, which may give you a little bit of that emotional connection to the research process and not just the research results that you're reading about. I think both discussion boards have been great, and in the second one I'm really pleased to find out that so many people can make connections to things they've done in their lives to research. And I think that the examples that you guys came up with are very valid. The examples about doing consumer research, very, very similar in a way to the research process in a primary sense, because at least when I do consumer research, I'm always reading a lot of reviews. So I'm trying to triangulate the opinions from a number of different websites, and I'm also trying to read carefully what people are saying to determine if I think that they have the same interests as I have, or maybe they're even a paid reviewer. So that consumer research, very similar. Science experiments, of course. Quite a few people have written papers for classes that involve research, including action research. And one that I'm going to highlight now, which is a little bit different than most of the others, is this one from Susan. She says, I guess that I have had a lot of opportunities to interact with research, and my position is necessary part of differentiated instruction. I more or less develop a plan of action to teach my students. Right? So she's bringing up the idea that teachers, as part of their regular jobs, today are doing a lot of assessment and basing a lot of their lesson planning on assessment. Part of the new teacher evaluation system is going to be something called student learning objectives. And that's actually a formalized research process where you are collecting data, setting goals, analyzing your data in terms of your goals, and writing up a report for it. Those student learning objectives, if I have my information right, are going to be used by teachers who are in non-tested subject areas. So informally, research is always part of the teaching process, and now next year it's going to become formally part of the research process for a lot of people. Great. Here's another one that I want to highlight from Christina. She talks about doing a research project for advanced adolescent psychology class, and she said that she wanted to prove a point, and so she was looking for articles that would prove her point. Eventually this got frustrating, if I'm summarizing correctly, and she wanted to then just follow the research where it took her. And I think that's a really interesting. Now, I want to compare that idea to some of the real life examples of research that some of you talked about. So medical research or consumer research. Let's take consumer research especially. Think how silly it would be if you were to say to yourself, well, I really want to buy this particular camera. I want a Nikon camera 356. And so I'm going to do consumer research and cherry pick the quotes and the ratings that support that purchase. No, you would never do that. As soon as you found a bunch of bad reviews about the Nikon, you would change your opinion of what you wanted to purchase. And so I think in the same way when you're looking at academic research, try to keep an open mind. Don't say to yourself, I'm looking for 10 articles that support this perspective. Say to yourself, I want to shape my perspective based on what I'm reading. Now, I wouldn't go so far as to say that you're going to completely change your perspective based on what you find, because values sometimes and often trump the research, and you have to interpret the research through your values. But still, you have to be open to rethinking your values, rethinking some of your ideas based on what you're finding. Okay, I think that's a brilliant point, but my son here says it made no sense to him. Right, Kevin?
Yeah, it made no sense.
Well, I could go on with lots of more examples like this, but I think I'll stop here and give Tiffany a chance.